Underground shelters making a comeback. One company taking it to the next level, Atlas Survival Shelters. They design bunkers that offer all the comforts of your home, but they also double as luxurious hideouts. From wine cellars to movie theaters and nightclubs, Atlas Survival Shelters has an answer to every disaster. Joining us right now is Atlas Survival Shelters President Ron Hubbard. Ron, great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us here. We want to see the shelter. Tell us about them.
Well, good morning, Maria. Which shelter would you like for me to talk about? Because I have so many types. But the one behind me right now is a military-style corrugated pipe shelter that buries underneath the ground, and this type of shelter has been around for 70 years.
Okay, so that the one you're in right now, we can see a bit of it. That is tunnels underneath your house.
The one that goes underneath the house is called the Atlas Safe Cellar. Now, this is where our business is heading. We've created a line of shelters that when you build the house, the shelter goes into the foundation first. But this particular shelter is a multifunctional space. It can be used as a wine cellar, a gun room, a panic room, storage. With everything that's going on in the news right now, my shelter seemed to be an answer. I was watching NBC News with Lester Holt the other night. The first story he covered was the California wildfires. And I'm sitting there thinking the answer to a lot of these people, it's not the solution, but it's an answer, is to have one of my fire shelters underneath the house. Now, I have fire shelters both for objects like your valuables and your pictures and everything, but also have shelters for the people that go inside them. Then the next story on the news was the shooting in Thousand Oaks. And I'm sitting there thinking, if these businesses and people would have safe rooms, that people would be able to run down into the safe room. And then the last thing on the news segment was North Korea. And I'm sitting there thinking, good God, is this particular news segment talking to me? I'm sitting there thinking the same thing again. The answer to North Korea, not the solution, is to have the fallout shelters.
Well,
so
I mean,
it seems like my product has come of age.
Business has gone up because of that? People are afraid of some disaster that they need a shelter. How's business, and what are you seeing in terms of the reason that somebody would want this shelter beneath their house?
Well, I'm actually creating a whole new industry. The type of shelter that I've come out with, which is called the NATO Series, didn't exist until about 2 years ago. We started to develop the shelter because we saw that a lot of people that wanted shelters just couldn't afford them. It seemed like the people that were buying the shelters are the billionaires and the multimillionaires. And so many people came to me and said, well, do you have anything for under $25,000? And it didn't exist because the air system alone could cost as much as $20,000. So we set out, we started engineering, and we created a shelter, including the air system, that would go underneath the house, starting at $25,000, because that seemed to be the sweet spot for people. Now we've convinced home builders to go ahead and incorporate these shelters into the body of the houses. So this is going to be the future moving forward. You're going to see more and more high-end homes and spec houses being built with a shelter underneath the house. But people like you would just turn it into a wine cellar or turn it into an office. And people in Texas might turn it into a gun room or just a big giant vault. And the people in California will use it for a fire room.
So we have pictures. I guess we sent cameras to some of the shelters which double as a wine cellar and double as a nightclub. Are you seeing an increase in business right now? What's the status of the business, and what's the reason to have this shelter? How much is it?
Business on a global scale has been increasing year over year. In the last year, since we came out with the NATO Series, we have received over 700 dealer applications from around the world, including about 50 countries. People see that the climate in the world is changing, and this is going to be the new normal.
So, Ron, what home builders are you working with?
So business is definitely increasing. What, home builders?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you one thing I did. We partnered up with one of the largest home design engineer firms in the state of Texas that does about 15,000 houses a year. I met him at the builder show. He saw my product, and he's like, you know what, we need to get together now because I can see that this idea is going to catch on. So as far as name brands, it's all the top name brands. I just don't want to start spitting out their names.
Yeah. All right, Ron. We'll be watching. Thank you so much. Ron Hubbard joining us there.